Action.
My name is Thom Brooks. I'm Professor of Law and Government at Durham University, where I am Dean of Durham Law School. And I'll be talking today during Refugee Week here at Newcastle City Library about refugees and the wider immigration system. I'll be beginning with some facts and figures about how the system works in general, because I think this is often overlooked in how we think about particular aspects of immigration policies such as asylum. I'll be having as a theme to my talk that we should be setting up bridges and not barriers. What I'll be doing after I give some numbers is go through the regulations, the surprising number of regulations, which I expect may well astound people here, about how much effort is put into trying to stop people being able to get into this country, how difficult it genuinely is, and the hurdles put in front of them. One, because government ministers tend to create these rules ad hoc, reacting to some misinformation that they read from the newspapers rather than it going the other way around. And the other side to this is very few people involved in setting immigration policy are actually immigrants themselves or have experienced immigration firsthand, and so lack that knowledge on the coalface about not just what the rules are, but actually how the rules are applied. And as you can probably tell from my accent, I am an immigrant and a professor specializing in immigration law. So I'll be trying to set both these things right for my friends and audience here later tonight. And then turning at the end towards looking at asylum more particularly, and what can and be done about this important topic. One, highlighting some of the things that governments have tried to do, some things that governments should be trying to do more, and also touching on that little issue of Brexit that people are talking about, and how the European Union rules on immigration, actually some of them are the most popular with the public, particularly relating to refugees that are now could find themselves scrapped if Britain leaves certain parts of the European Union. We will wait to see what those negotiations do when they are over at some point in the distant future. So a bit of looking into the future, a lot of looking at how things are now, and I hope an informative and entertaining night.
So if there was one line or one surprise that you think the guys here tonight, your audience will get tonight, what do you think that would be? What do you think the one thing they'll take away is?
Well, I think the one thing they'll take away is that much of the government's perspective on immigration is largely about setting up barriers instead of bridges, and that many of the barriers they're setting up are not only ineffective but often counterproductive. That much of what they have tried to do in order to motivate, say, reductions in net migration have had a counterproductive result. For example, in the latest net migration numbers have gone down, but what's been going down, or what's been making the numbers go down? Simple. More British nationals are choosing to leave and not come back. And so rules that are designed to help stop or have greater controls than others coming in have actually served as a push to encourage more of us to leave. Not just people who are in work who might try to employ migrants amongst others for their businesses, but also separating British families, because these rules on who can come into the country also affect people's spouses and children, which is a very significant part of what is driving so many of our own countrymen to leave.